Hi, I'm Cricket Greer. I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner with Blue Lotus Ayurveda in Asheville, North Carolina. Today I'd like to share with you Nadi Shodhana, a form of pranayama. Pranayama means breath work. Nadis are the subtle channels of our body, and Shodhana means to cleanse or purify. So with this breath, we are actually trying to get the flow of our subtle energy channels of our bodies moving and harmonized. And this speaks especially for the three main channels, which are the Ida, the Pingala, and the sushumna, which is the central channel. The Ida channel is like the moon and receptive side of ourselves, and the Pingala is the more active and sun side of ourselves. So it's nice if these are working together in harmony and they interweave with the sushumna in the central channel. So this breath helps to get them to harmonize and helps to get the flow of the channels moving throughout the body. There are thousands and thousands of nadis in our bodies. And so this particular pranayama is able to get those channels flowing well. So the first thing that we're going to do, and I do want to mention too, just on a less esoteric level, this breath really gets the concentration a little more focused, and it calms the nervous system. It can be calming for anxiety, and it can help us think a little clearer. It really brings the energy back into ourselves. It's nice to use in preparation for a test or an interview or public speaking. Anything that you have to do that elicits a little more anxiety, where you have to be a little calmer. So this breath, we're going to be inhaling and exhaling through the nose. And we want to start this with the Vishnu mudra. The Vishnu mudra is a mudra that's done. A mudra is something that you do with your hands. It's also called a seal, and it also affects the energy channels of our bodies. So the Vishnu mudra is one that calls in the energy of Vishnu. And in Hinduism, Vishnu is one of the three primary gods, and Vishnu is the sustainer of life. And so here we're calling in the energy of nourishment and the sustaining of our life force. So in order to do this mudra, I like to take the right hand. So if you hold up your right hand with your palm toward me, we're going to fold in the index and the middle fingers, which is very awkward because these two, the ring and the pinky fingers, are not going to be able to stand up usually with most people. So they're going to come in and it looks like a deer, which is the other name for this mudra actually, is mrugi, which is a deer. So this deer then faces you. And so that's the Vishnu mudra. Again, this is the index and middle fingers. They just fold down onto the palm and then it faces you. Okay? So now that it's facing you, your thumb is free to actually press very gently on your right nostril, and then your ring finger is available to press very gently on the left nostril. And what I like to do is have some breath under the armpit here, so I like to keep my arm out as much to the side as I can, and then by placing my thumb on my right, ring on my left, ring finger on the left, and I'm just going to be alternating back and forth, closing one at a time, one side of the nose at a time for this breath. So I'm kind of showing you. And the placement is really where the nair, the nostril, comes around and meets the other part of the nose, where you would get your nose pierced if you had a nose piercing. So that's where it is on each side. So that's where you're pressing. It is a very, very gentle. You don't want to like have your nose going over to the side. You just want a very gentle pressure there. Okay? Just enough so that that side of the nose is closed off and no air can get in. It's just at that point. So again, remembering to keep the arm up, and you're really holding it up with these muscles, so you don't want a lot of tension in your shoulder, but you want your shoulder down, and you have this Vishnu mudra ready to go. And we always start by inhaling on the left side. And I like to think of this as a triangular kind of breath, like a little visualization that goes with this. So what we're going to be doing during this breath is inhaling starting on the left and going, I think of this as going up to my Ajna chakra, which is the point just above between the eyebrows here, in the center of the forehead, but near the eyebrows. Then as I'm exhaling, I'm going to now be exhaling on the right side. And then I stay on that side to inhale. Inhaling, and I'm going to visualize going up to the Ajna chakra and then out on the left side. And that's one round. So again, left, right, stay, right, left, stay. That's one. Left, right, stay, right, left, stay. So that's one round whenever you get back to the left side again. And for Nadi Shodhana, it's nice to do this for, I like to do 6 to 8 rounds during my sadhana practice in the morning before meditation. So whenever we start any kind of pranayama, we're going to make sure again that we're sitting in an upright position, and the top of the head is reaching up toward the sky, my tailbone is going down to the earth, and my spine is elongating between the two so that it's very tall, but it's also going to be relaxed. You can roll your shoulder back and down in a very gentle way to open up the chest. And here we can make the Vishnu Mudra, bringing in the sustaining and nourishing aspect of life. And we have that face our face. The thumb goes on the right, the arm is out, and then the ring finger goes on the left. So this is how we're going to be closing off the nostril, remembering to keep the arm up as long as it's comfortable. And so we begin by closing your eyes or looking down, but I'm going to be looking at you while I'm teaching this. And so we begin by inhaling through the left, very slowly, but comfortably. And you can visualize it going up to the forehead. And then we're exhaling on the right. And I'm just going to move around so you can just see. Then we're going to stay on the right. And then we're going to cover the right and we're going to exhale through the left. So now I'm over on the left. And we stay there, that's one round. Round 2, left. Now we're switching, exhaling right. Inhale right. And exhale left. And you finish your second round. Now, if you know Ujjayi Pranayama, you're welcome to use that. I talk about that in 3-part breathing video. But if you don't know that, don't worry about it. But it can be good to use just a little tiny bit of an Ujjayi, because it's, that's on a spectrum. So you can be really intense with Ujjayi, or you can be very subtle with it. You could try a little bit of a subtle Ujjayi in your Nadi Shodhana, but you want to keep things very open, very gentle. So when we're breathing in, we're trying to get a very thin and elongated stream of breath. It should feel very good and relaxing. And then at the top of the breath, it is nice to let it kind of disperse a little bit and have a moment of pause, if you're able to. And then exhaling on that other side. It's kind of like a little waterfall, but it's a very gentle and soft and elongated waterfall of breath. And then again, there's a pause at the end. And then You can start again on that same side on the right and then going over to the left, right? So we always have this little pause at the top, coming down, and then a pause at the bottom. Okay. Now, when I start a pranayama, not only do I check in with my posture, but I do like to take several breaths just to check in with my body to see how I'm feeling in that moment. How's my body feeling? Just a quick little noting of that. And then I like to start noticing how the quality of my breath for the day or in that moment. And then I can start my pranayama practice. Because it's nice to check in at the beginning so that when you're done with your practice and you're taking several breaths before moving on to whatever you're doing next, you can check back in again and you can see if anything has shifted by doing the pranayama. And if not, it's fine, but we're just accepting everything that is here in this moment. So let's begin. So let's go ahead and make sure you're seated in your posture for pranayama, which is very tall but relaxed. And then go ahead and close your eyes if you wish, or look down in front of you so that you can bring your attention inward. And then go ahead and take several breaths to do the check-in, just to see how your body is doing. And your mind. And then you start to focus on the breath. And we're not changing the breath here, we are just noticing what is our breath like in this moment. And now we're going to set up for our pranayama. We're going to begin. So make sure that the arm is up high. And make sure during this pranayama that when you're closing off the nasal passageway, that it's not too hard. You want to keep it very gentle. And the other thing that can happen is the head can start to turn during this pranayama. So trying to think of these things during your practice. You're getting involved with this concentration on the breath, right? But occasionally just remind yourself, how is my arm? And is my head turned? And am I being gentle on my nose? All right, so beginning with the inhaling through the left. So we're going to take a nice inhalation first before we even start. And then after our exhalation, we begin. Inhaling through the left. And do it at your own pace. Exhaling through the right. With little pauses at the end. Inhaling right. And pausing. And exhale left. Let's do one more together. Inhale left. Pausing. Exhale right. And pausing. Inhale right. Pausing. And exhale left. Now we're done, but go ahead and take a couple of breaths or more just to check in, to see if those 2 Nadi Shodhana breaths have changed anything, or just to see how you're feeling right now. And hopefully with this practice you can begin to just elongate that as much as possible and have that nice moment of pause where you can relax into just the universal quiet energy of life. Thank you so much. Namaste.